I'm going to come to the young Indian team. You were in the commentary box. That's your new avatar, and great to have someone now with all the best commentators in the world. I want to play that match. It was a cover story of India Today magazine as well. Take a look at that moment where this young Indian team took on the English at the Oval.
What time है?
So we are seeing this new age Indian team, Mohammad Siraj, who again seems to have the heart of a lion from Hyderabad, and Shubman Gill, who many believe is the new Virat Kohli. I don't know whether he'd like to be called that, but he is the next generation potential Indian great. Would you agree that this Indian team, a Shubman Gill, is the next Indian batting great? A Siraj is showing the spirit of this new India?
I have a pet peeve against calling the next great. I feel it's a very easily thrown about term, and I make a conscious effort in my broadcasting career also to keep that term to a select few. I think great, legend, GOAT as they call it, I keep it for a select few. I think just throwing it about to everyone is unfair. Can Shubman Gill go on to become that? For sure. I think
is he going to, because 740 odd runs in your first series as captain, you're just 23, is quite remarkable. Do you believe he is potentially the next Indian great batsman who could possibly even outstrip what the previous generation has done?
Shubman Gill is the next big thing without a doubt in terms of whatever you've just said. There is no denying that. But the way this sport is unfolding, Test cricket is obviously the toughest challenge for any sportsman, but the quantity of how much that's going to be consumed could be the challenge for him. He might love Test cricket, but where is Test cricket today compared to where it will be in 10 years' time is going to be a huge question mark. I don't think it's about Shubman Gill. I think it's about the cricketing ecosystem. People enjoy shorter formats. Their attention span is a lot lesser, so they have time to spend when it comes to shorter bursts. Where Test cricket will be is the biggest challenge. Shubman Gill has everything to become a great. I mean, there is no doubt. And what this Indian team showed, at least in England, as you see, was on a very interesting series. And they rated the best ever series after the 2005 Ashes, which says a lot about how good the series was, how well it was watched, and the fact that a young Indian team came there, stood up against a strong English team which uses the term baseball and said, we'll do it our way. So it was great to watch, good fun, and Shubman Gill did a fantastic job as a leader.
What was that moment when Siraj got that wicket? I presume you were in and around the comm box.
Yes.
Do you get overexcited at times like this, or do you try and stay calm?
That's the challenge in broadcasting, sir. See, I'm an Indian. I want India to win. But when you're broadcasting, especially doing a world feed, the key is to try and be neutral, because the viewer is not just India. There are people from all over the world. So you want to call the play as you see it, as neutrally as possible. Who do I want to win? Without a doubt, India. There is no doubting that. So internally, as much as I'm bubbling and want to say everything that India is doing right, as a broadcaster, the challenge is to make sure you're stating the play which is interesting for others to watch as is. You don't want to be pro-India just because you're an Indian. I think that's something that I'm very keen. I try and keep it as true to the game as possible. That is the challenge. When this Siraj moment happened, I remember I was on the ground because I've been told to go and speak to a few players, and he's the first player I spoke to. And being there in that moment, I was standing behind Sai Sudarshan at that stage, who was at deep mid-wicket. It was lovely to see that young team, because I'm of the belief that Test cricket is the toughest format and needs to be respected and enjoyed the most. But sadly, that's not the case, as you would know. But that series, the way Indian team played, there was so many things that suggested that, wow, these guys really want to play Test cricket. They had come at the back of a tough IPL, but the way they played in that series, phenomenal.
We mentioned MS Dhoni as a once-in-a-generation cricketer. My current favorite cricketer in this team is someone I think is also once in a generation, Rishabh Pant. Every time Rishabh Pant comes out to bat, I leave whatever else I'm doing, including work, and watch him bat. There was this news show. I was anchoring the news, and I had my iPad watching Rishabh Pant bat. There is something about him which is just incredible. Is that, again, this new generation which is determined to do things that you think are unachievable? Going out to bat with a broken toe, for example, in England, is not easy.
He's a special talent. In Test cricket, he's actually become the fan favorite because of the way he plays it. He brings a certain flavor which has not been seen before. The kind of shots that he plays has actually completely enamored the Test cricket watching crowd, because nobody has played it that way. We have seen Sehwag, Gilchrist, all of those guys over the years. He's another variation to that, but with more attractive shots, the falling down sweep, the stepping out and going over mid-off and mid-on to fast bowlers. These shots have not been played that consistently. But the fact is that when Rishabh Pant comes to play in Test cricket is so much more watchable, because you almost feel like something is going to happen, I don't know what it is. And that is such a thrilling place to be as a viewer, because with the way the world is changing, AI and everything coming in, the one thing that will never ever change is the value for live sport. And I think he adds a certain flavor to it which makes it so watchable.